Hello, everyone, and welcome to United Red Devil TV with our Friday afternoon transfer news and rumours surrounding Manchester United. And just a little snippet to start things off today, and hopefully everyone is doing good today. Bruno Fernandes, Altay Bayinda, Diego Dalot, and Alejandro Garnacho have returned to Carrollton for first team training, which is good. And we will start with our first little snippet of information. Manchester United have a number of areas that need to be improved, but the club selected three priority areas this summer. A striker, a centre back have arrived, while it's thought that Ten Hag is closing in on a new midfielder, Manuel Ugarte, while Lenny Yoro's 3 month setback could push United into another centre half signing this window. Other positions may need some attention. One of those is left back, given how injuries decimated options there last season. According to Ten Hag, who sat down with Manchester Evening News Sport and other journalists in the USA to discuss a broad range of topics, on the list of questions was whether his transfer plans have been changed due to the latest injuries to Lenny Yoro and Rasmus Højlund. The United boss was quoted as saying, "No, this will not change anything. We have a plan and we stick to the plan. We have a plan and we will execute the plan. How we have that in our minds, so we will continue this." And a little update on Sofyan Amrabat. United are undecided whether to go back in for Sofyan Amrabat, but should they wish to, reports suggest Fenerbahce would rival them for his signature. United decided not to trigger his buyout clause at the end of last season's loan spell, but the club looked to bring him in on a cut price deal with the player set on leaving parent club Fiorentina. But reports as relayed by Team Talk suggest that Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce are keen on the midfielder. It is thought that the player prefers a return to Old Trafford. We should be going and bringing him back in. He really needs to, because he played so well in the FA Cup final. Update on Aaron Wan-Bissaka is thought to have agreed to move to West Ham with only a fee with United to be finalised. United are seeking more than 15 million for the defender, who arrived from Crystal Palace on a 50 million deal back in 2019. Slow Sports journalist Darmish Seth says talks are continuing, claiming that a deal is close to being agreed. United are meanwhile hoping to bring in Light Mazraoui from Bayern Munich as his replacement. Clubmate Matthijs de Ligt has meanwhile agreed personal terms with United, but we already know that de Ligt and Mazraoui have already agreed personal terms, so that's nothing new. United not changing transfer plans despite injuries. The recent injuries to Lenny Yoro and Rasmus Højlund will not alter Manchester United's plans for incomings and outgoings in the transfer window. New signing Yoro has been ruled out for 3 months after fracturing his metatarsal in the 2-1 defeat to Arsenal last week. Højlund came off after 13 minutes in the friendly and is due to be sidelined for 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. United are open to signing 3 centre-backs this summer, with Euro at 70 million euros addition from Lille. Tyrell Malaysia update. United do not expect Tyrell Malaysia to return to fitness until October, as he continues rehabilitation from last summer's knee surgery. The defender has not played in more than a year due to complications in recovery from the operation, having initially been expected back in January. The news of his return timeline might tempt United to bring in a temporary cover at left back. Signing Sergio Reguilon was loaned in from Tottenham last season but was let go in January, and Malaysia's anticipated return, which never came to pass. Manchester United have submitted a joint bid for Matthijs de Ligt and Light Mazraoui, but have seen their first offer rebuffed. This is said to have caused confusion among the agents acting on behalf of both players, who had been told that there were surplus of requirements at Bayern over the summer. The Athletic says talks are ongoing regarding a joint bid for a higher amount than was initially tabled. Bayern, it says, still wish to offload both players. Manchester Evening News Sport reported earlier this summer that United agreed personal terms with Ligt, and it now appears the same has happened with Mazraoui, but we already knew that anyway, because we all know Fabrizio Romano is on it. Update on Old Trafford. The leaky roof at Old Trafford has for so long been viewed as symptomatic of the decline that has been seen over the last decade or so under the ownership of the Glazer family at Manchester United. in a decade when the likes of Tottenham Hotspur made the move to a state-of-the-art new stadium, and rivals such as Liverpool spent hundreds of millions revamping the iconic Anfield Stadium to bring it into the world-class bracket. The Glazers stood still at United, doing little to arrest the decline of their surroundings. The decaying stadium, symbolic of all that ailed the football club. The Glazers still need to be gone, mate. Someone needs to come in and remove them completely out of the club. Jared Branthwaite update. Sean Dyche has made it clear that the arrival of Jake O'Brien at Everton from Lyon does not mean the club are preparing for the exit of Jared Branthwaite. Branthwaite is of interest to United, who have seen 2 bids turned down for him. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is adamant on not meeting the 70 million asking price. Explaining the situation of Branthwaite, Dyche said O'Brien's arrival, it's nothing to do with that, it's just to do with trying to model the club with the finances available. We've made it clear to him, Branthwaite, that there's nothing other than that. But of course, put 2 and 2 together and everyone starts speculating, what do you do? Lower your ridiculous asking price. It seems there are only fine details to be sorted out before Nassau Mazraoui completes his move from Bayern Munich to United. Reports suggesting the defender is poised to leave Bayern's pre-season tour, with speculation elsewhere claiming a deal worth up to 20 million to be agreed. Meanwhile, Wan-Bissaka has agreed personal terms with West Ham, albeit a fee with United is still yet to be shaken on. So Wan-Bissaka is still holding everything up as per usual, and that's some tweets from Santi Anuna, which we've already gone over before, so it's no new information there. Another little thing on Scott McTominay. Fulham have tabled a 23 million bid for Scott McTominay, which is slightly below the price range United have set out for his transfer. Eric Ten Hag prefers to keep the midfielder, but there is an air of ambiguity over his future should an ample offer arrive in light of United's position with the spending rules. Ten Hag praised McTominay in his meeting with the media. I'm so pleased with the performance of Scott McTominay, he began. In the press conference, Eric Ten Hag was quizzed on United's transfer plans for the rest of the window. United are said to be dealing with a low net spend this summer, around 50 million, due to being close to Premier League spending limits, Ten Hag admitted. Every club has those limitations. FFP rules for every club are there. We have to manage this as well as possible and contract the best squad possible, which is meaning that all of this is going to be an absolute nightmare. An update on Rashford and Anthony injury updates. Eric Ten Hag says he is having to wait to find out the extent of injuries to Marcus Rashford and Anthony. The pair were forced off in this week's friendly against Real Betis in California. Rashford more visibly hobbling as he came off. In a press conference yesterday, the United boss said, we have to wait, of course. We don't take risks in the last game of the tour going into the season next week already. We go into an important game and we're still 24 hours after a game. The final assessment we have to make, and we will see if they are ready for the game against Liverpool on Saturday. So they're going to be out for a bit. Fulham have tabled a second bid for Scott McTominay, having seen the previous offer rejected this summer. this time offering 23 million. United want between 25 and 30 million for the midfielder, albeit Erik Ten Hag would prefer to keep the Scotland star. United have already turned down bids from West Ham for McTominay, who had a fruitful season last term, albeit perhaps did not get the number of starts he would have liked. And this one's from very early in the morning. Light Mazraoui is reportedly being told by United that a deal for his move is close. I've not heard of this source. Foot Mercato says a deal worth an initial 15 million is almost complete, with add-ons taking the fee close to 20 million. This comes up